In today's highly charged economic landscape, the question of social class, whether one is lower class, middle class, or upper class, is often a deeply personal one, shaped more by emotion and immediate perception than by precise financial data. When prompted, most people reflexively categorize themselves based on a blend of their visceral feelings, their monthly paychecks, the zip code they live in, or the badge on the front of their automobile. However, there is a fundamental flaw in this intuitive approach. Authentic wealth classification has astonishingly little to do with any of these external indicators of status. Instead, determining where you truly stand economically boils down to a single, unyielding mathematical figure: your net worth. The stark reality that many Americans face when they take the time to actually calculate this crucial metric is that they are not, financially speaking, where they imagine themselves to be. There is a profound gap between the feeling of financial security and the tangible reality of accumulated wealth. In this comprehensive guide, we intend to dissect that gap by thoroughly walking you through the entire architectural structure of the American wealth ladder, from its foundational base all the way to the lofty upper atmosphere inhabited by the top 10%. This exploration, however, is not merely a descriptive narrative. Its primary objective is analytical. We will run the raw empirical math, identifying the specific financial actions and substantial quantitative thresholds necessary to move from one metaphorical rung to the next. To provide this analysis with a concrete foundation, we will be tracking the financial trajectory of a hypothetical individual, standardizing the calculations throughout the journey. Our subject is Tyler. At 34 years old, Tyler is a marketing manager, earning what most would consider a healthy professional salary of $85,000 annually. He manages a respectable job, lives in a nice apartment, and drives a newer, reliable sedan. He is not financially negligent. He makes regular, albeit minor, contributions to his company-sponsored 401k each month. If asked, Tyler would confidently place himself solidly in the middle class. Yet, when we sit down and dissect his financial reality using the net worth equation, the mathematics tell a jarringly different story. He is not in the middle. Instead, he belongs to the bottom 25% of American households. This assertion is not hyperbole. It is the unavoidable conclusion driven solely by arithmetic. To truly understand why Tyler finds himself in this position, and, more importantly, to understand exactly what is required for him to begin ascending, we must first lay some groundwork. Before we attempt to climb, it is imperative to establish a concrete definition. Your income, that impressive annual salary you might quote, is not your wealth. Your salary is merely the tool you use to build wealth. True wealth is your net worth. The formula is conceptually simple, yet universally applied. Your net worth equals the sum total of everything you own, your assets, minus the sum total of everything you owe, your liabilities or debts. Assets encompass things like your savings, checking accounts, brokerage investments, retirement balances, car values, and the current equity in a home. Conversely, liabilities include car loans, outstanding student debt, credit card balances, personal loans, and mortgages. That single resulting figure is the sole determinant of where you actually sit on the financial spectrum, and it is entirely possible to have a high paycheck and a low, or even negative, net worth. The analytical framework and demographic data we are utilizing for this assessment are derived directly from the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances. This survey is widely considered the most comprehensive and authoritative source of wealth information in the United States. And some of the specific thresholds we will uncover are likely to upend conventional wisdom. Let us return to Tyler to initiate the ascent, examining his financial anatomy in detail. Tyler takes home approximately $5,200 per month after taxes. His expenditures include $1,600 in rent, a car payment for his 2022 sedan valued at $22,000, and standard living costs. He is saving, but he is also financing. On the side of his ledger that lists assets, we find the car worth $22,000, $12,000 in a retirement 401k, and $3,000 in general liquid savings. This totals $37,000 in accumulated assets. However, we must then turn to the liabilities ledger. Here, Tyler carries $18,000 in a car loan and a significant $26,000 in student loan debt, totaling $44,000. When we subtract his liabilities from his assets, $37,000 minus $44,000, we arrive at Tyler's true net worth, negative $7,000. The mathematical proof is inescapable. Despite his comfortable $85,000 salary, Tyler is not in the middle class. He is anchored in the bottom quarter of American households. Millions of Americans find themselves in this precise, precarious position. Good jobs, seemingly responsible habits, but ultimately, zero or negative net worth. The context for the initial ladder rung is stark. The bottom 25% represents the segment of the population with a net worth below approximately $23,000. Many within this bracket, including Tyler, possess a zero or negative net worth, meaning their debts either match or entirely consume their asset base. A frequent misconception regarding this category is that it consists primarily of individuals without jobs or those working minimum wage. While some are, the group is saturated with high-earning professionals making $70,000, $80,000 or more who have simply failed to convert that income into enduring assets. Their financial engine is running, but the fuel, money, is consumed immediately. It exits as rent, various financed car payments, significant student loan installments, and potentially credit card balances accumulated over years of slow lifestyle escalation. The culprit for Tyler's negative standing is unambiguous. He lacks the primary wealth accelerator of most American households, home equity. He carries debt that exceeds his property, and his retirement savings are insufficient relative to his professional income and age. He has experienced what can only be described as the income trap. It is possible to earn your way into a very comfortable daily life without ever establishing an actual financial base that builds long-term security. To even cross the threshold into the lower middle-class bracket, which spans from a net worth of $23,000 up to $179,000, Tyler needs a massive adjustment. He is currently at negative $7,000 and needs to reach positive $23,000. This is a $30,000 gap that must be bridged. There are only two fundamental levers to affect net worth. You must either expand assets or liquidate liabilities. If Tyler aggressively attacked his $26,000 in student loan debt by diverting an extra $500 monthly, on top of mandatory minimum payments, he could eradicate that debt in roughly 3.5 years. That action alone, coupled with maintaining his other savings habits, would comfortably push his net worth well past the $23,000 mark. He would then officially transition into the lower middle class. However, a key characteristic defines this particular bracket. Households here did not predominantly move from the bottom via complex, brilliant investment maneuvers. They moved by making the singular, monumental purchase of a home. For most in this range, home equity constitutes the vast majority of their wealth. A typical household at this level might possess a home valued at $300,000 with a remaining mortgage of $240,000, generating $60,000 in equity. After adding modest retirement funds of $15,000, $8,000 in liquid savings, and subtracting a car loan of $12,000, their net worth lands at $71,000. While this looks encouraging on a spreadsheet, the situation is delicate. Most of that $71,000 is paper wealth. It is locked within the four walls of the house. It is not spendable for daily needs, nor is it easily accessible in an emergency without incurring more debt or selling the primary residence. The actual liquid cushion, the funds that can be accessed immediately without penalties or severe consequences, might only be $10,000 to $15,000. While this bracket represents substantial progress from Tyler's starting negative position, it still features significant underlying financial fragility. Any major unexpected event, such as a localized recession, a serious medical diagnosis, or a sudden job loss, can throw a household at this level into turmoil very rapidly. As we ascend further, we eventually reach the true midpoint of American household wealth, the median. Exactly half of all U.S. households possess more net worth than this figure, and half have less. The median net worth in the United States currently sits around $193,000. This number frequently elicits varied and polarized reactions. To some, it feels too low, as if the headlines focusing only on the highest stock market indices and exorbitant housing price spikes across prime coastal areas make it seem like everyone is awash in capital. To others, $193,000 feels impossibly high because they have never known anyone, including themselves, remotely close to that level. Both reactions expose the common truth that very few people have an accurate understanding of where the midpoint actually resides.